What is first aid? In a general sense, first aid means providing the immediate care or help to an ill or injured person until trained medical emergency responders are available. It is important to respond to an emergency quickly and appropriately, regardless of how minor you may think the situation is. Even the simplest care can have an impact in a life or death situation. Conversely, if you ignore a minor injury, such as a scratch or a skin tear, it can quickly lead to a wound infection and potential for other complications. Thus, understanding what to do and how to respond to common emergency situations is important. Dependent older adults are more vulnerable to accidents and injuries because of frail health, reduced strength and reflexes, and the potential for poor eyesight or hearing loss related to aging. The skin condition of older adults may also be compromised, making them more susceptible to skin tears and potential infections. In most cases for first aid, you are providing care for minor injuries or illnesses, such as a soft tissue injury. But you may be required to provide first aid in more serious situations as well, such as choking, an accident with major bleeding, or responding to a stroke or a heart attack. Therefore, recognizing signs of medical emergencies is an essential skill a caregiver must develop. As a caregiver, you have a responsibility and duty to recognize medical emergencies and provide basic first aid to your resident or client while you are on the job. What are your responsibilities, though, when you're off duty? A caregiver who is off duty may choose not to provide first aid and is not required by law to do so. However, keep in mind that your actions or interventions could save someone from becoming seriously hurt. In fact, some states consider it an act of negligence for a person trained in first aid to not, at least, call for help. When you are off duty, before providing first aid or touching the person in need of assistance, if the person injured is alert, you should always ask them if you may help. If the person does not consent to your care or withdraws consent at any time, you may not provide first aid. You may offer to call 911 and stay with the person until a medical emergency response team arrives. In a situation where the person injured is confused or cannot respond, and you are comfortable in providing first aid, assume that he or she would want your help and apply first aid as a Good Samaritan. Here's a few words about the Good Samaritan law. Every state has slight variations about what is covered under this law, but generally, it provides legal protection for those who voluntarily render first aid to an injured person in an emergency. The description of this law indicates that if a Good Samaritan acts in good faith by rendering first aid, but an error or further injury has made the victim worse, the person providing the emergency care would not be held liable in civil damages for acting in good faith. However, this law does not provide protection if the person acted in a willful or intentionally reckless manner while providing such care, advice, or assistance.